Welcome to our Rare Beauty Masterclass. How are we doing? Yeah, are we ready to apply makeup? Good. We have our gorgeous model, Sophia. And we have a gorgeous new launch, the Soft Pinch Liquid Contour. If you guys don't know, I am a makeup artist here in New York City, and I'm really excited to talk about this incredible launch and show you guys how to use these incredible products. I am obsessed with brows before base. My favorite thing about this brow gel is that with the applicator, and I feel like this is an important piece, and I hope the camera can pick it up, the applicator is really uniquely designed where the wand has a kind of like stiffer, longer edge on top and then a smaller, shorter edge on bottom. And this is to get versatility. So the top, if you want a really natural, fluffy brow, you use that longer side of the applicator. And then if you want lamination, which I know Selena loves a laminated brow, we love laminated brows, you can use this lower portion. And basically think about it, it's like how it applies to your skin. So if you're closer to the skin and you're making contact with your skin, you're gonna push the brows to the skin versus the longer side. If you're giving this really fluffy motion, you're not gonna get that laminated effect. So you really can get whatever style you want, and the hold is just impeccable. And I like to do brows before base because I always think whenever I used to get white flaky brows, it's because you're dragging your foundation, your powders and stuff through your brows, and then you're making a little paste and you're putting it back in and mixing it around. So if you do it before on fresh skin, you can avoid that entirely. I always love to start any sort of look with this 4-in-1 facial mist. It is so delicious feeling. It plumps the skin. It gives like a nice juicy base. And on Sophia's skin, we already have done a little bit of foundation, a little concealer, and I wanted to move into kind of the fun stuff, which is warming up the face and contouring with the new product. So, bronzer and contour. This is a topic that I find is one of those things that the everyday girl really needs to understand, because I think it helps when it goes to picking what products are good for you and really getting that desired look. So if you guys have used this product before, it's the Warm Wishes bronzing stick. All of these shades have a really gorgeous warm undertone. You can see it in these products, the difference. So I like to think of bronzer as, think you're laying in the sun. The highest points of your face is what gets that sun kissed. This sort of product and this dewy, sort of emollient, gorgeous formula is going to give you that sun-kissed look. But then this is different than contouring. So contouring is creating shape and shadows. And I always like to think about, if you see a shadow in real life, what shade is it? It's gray, right? So when you think of creating contour, you want a product that has a gorgeous gray undertone. And as soon as you start to realize that, it really helps when it comes to picking products and really showing where to place it. For bronzing up the face, obviously you can go straight on the skin. I think that is what people do when they feel more comfortable with the product. These are really well designed where you're not going to get streaky lines and you don't need to be afraid of that. But I always encourage people to do it on the back of their hand for just an easier, more smooth application. And I love using this stippling brush. Anytime you're afraid of cream products, try a stippling brush. It just shears out the product. And then where her cheekbone naturally is, we're actually going to kind of swoop right on top of it. And remember, like I said, where you're getting kissed from the sun is the highest points of the face. And I'm using the shade on Sophia, Good Energy. I love this one. I used it on myself today too. And then forehead for bronzer is kind of where I like to focus cream bronzer as well, because that's where I get sun. And I love that you can just lightly graze this across the face, but this really does speak to skin prep as well. You just need hydration on the skin. I like to take a little on the chest too. I feel like this is a good tip with any and all makeup. Like, extend it down the neck, chest, shoulders, everything. Like, I want to feel like one golden bronzed color. Now, the golden, amazing new product. So I'm going to use shade Solace. And so like I said, now we're contouring. So we hit the high points of our face with the bronzing product. Now we want to create shape. I'm going to do like a little dollop on the back of my hand. And I'm actually going to pick up the same stippling brush. If I wanted to really cut and create shape, I would use something like the foundation brush. This like more concentrated, dome brush is gonna give you more opacity, more cut, whereas this sort of stippling brush is always gonna shear it out. So just, it's always good to be cognizant of the tools that you're using. But we want a natural look today, so we're gonna use this. Some key areas that I like to focus on when it comes to creating cheekbones and a snatched jawline are these, and I will explain. I like to pick up a little bit on the stippling brush. From ear to inwards, you can kind of think of like a straight line, right? And I always tell people, like, look at yourself in a mirror, and when you're talking, you can see cheekbones starting to appear. And it could be higher up, it could be lower, but that's your natural cheekbone. So we wanna go from here a little higher, and I'm just gonna stamp this on. We're gonna tap it out, and you wanna keep this placement really concentrated and lifted. For forehead contouring, not everyone needs to contour their forehead. I always say if you feel like your forehead, like proportion-wise, maybe a little larger than some of the other features on your face, contour your forehead. I don't think she needs extra contour, but it's going to pull your forehead and round it back. And then when it comes to jawline, this is the most natural way we're gonna snatch the jaw. You see Sophia's natural jawline. If you wanna kind of snatch the face, you actually wanna apply your contour right above. So I'm just gonna kind of graze this. So that is a very natural application of the Soft Pinch Liquid Contour. It's so easy to use. And I think the best part too is, like, as a consumer, I want something pigmented. I don't want something that I have to replace every few months. And like one dot of this is great. Like you literally just dot, blend, and you're done. So I'm gonna have on the other side, I'm gonna show you guys how you could just dot it. So I'm gonna focus a dot right here. Pat. Pat, 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 pat. I always love to pat and push products in. And I just love this shade range too. There's 7 shades, super inclusive, super beautifully cool undertoned. Like how gorgeous is that? This is hard to find on the market though. Like they really nailed the undertones, and I think it just makes contouring so much easier for the everyday girl. You can take this applicator and literally just run a nice line right there. And once again, pat and just watch her jaw snatch even more. She didn't need it, but it's fun to kind of play around sometimes. Always dragging your contour down the neck. It's also a big tip. You never just want it to leave and kind of stay right there. And then once I feel like it's kind of dried down, I'm just gonna feather it. And the finish is really natural. It's not overly dewy. It's not overly dry. Like it really is your skin, but better. I always start from kind of this inner brow area, but it's an extension from the brow down the nose. So we're gonna do that and let it sit. I also like to take a little and go right under the lip. And then the remainder of the product, which this is all one dot, we wanna start contouring the eyes. And this is my key to like such easy makeup. This is what I'm doing 9 times out of 10. It's what I have on today. Like I just love contouring out my eye, putting a little highlight on the center, calling it a day. So I'll take the tip again of this brush, really light pressure, kind of focus on that inner corner, and we're hitting that crease area, which you can feel. Everyone has like a crease bone. And then when you get out to the outer portion of the eye, I actually like to extend it out into the temple contour. Because we use the same product, like it's gonna look seamless and it's gonna lift your eye. So through the crease and then out into the temple. The nose is really baked on there for a good amount of time. So now you can take your brush and just kind of pat it down the nose. Okay, we have to use the Soft Pinch Liquid blush because this is an OG, am I right? This is one of the most gorgeous blushes, and I love mixing a few shades. I think they have 13 shades total. Some are matte finish and some are dewy. I believe I'm mixing finishes right now. But like, once again, the inclusivity here when it comes to blushes are incredible. Like they work on all skin tones and they're just gorgeous. The bases are so thoughtfully made and you can't go wrong with one of these, and a little goes a long way. So I'm gonna mix on the back of my hand a little bit of Happy. And then I love this shade Encourage. Like, look at these 2 colors, a mix of undertones. We have a little brightness, a little mauviness, like you can't go wrong. And I'm gonna use the same brush. So obviously, if you are someone who has used these blushes before and you are intimidated by the pigment, my #1 thing is to use your hand as your palette. And when it comes to blush, I love just hitting kind of this apple of the cheek area and really patting it in on the high points, kind of like where we put the bronzer, but I'm taking it even a little higher under the eyes to get that sun-kissed effect. So I'll take it up around the temples and even right here above the brow. On the ear, once again, we're back to the ears, a little on the chin, like areas you would get sun-kissed on. But once again, like, I think what I love so much about Rare's products is that they've made it really consumer friendly. Like, it's really hard to mess this up. The formulas of these are just so gorgeous that it's gonna give you that radiance and so easy to do. I'll take a little on the nose as well. I like to do this between steps with the mist again. I'm a big setting spray girl. These work so well for different reasons. I like it before, it gives a tacky base. I love it in the middle to melt everything together. And I love it at the end to just secure the face. So I always like to encourage a little spritz. We have to do the Luminous blush. This product is stunning. It gives that insane luminosity, and it's really gonna build a base for all of the highlighting that we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna start with this shade. This is the Love shade. It has a gorgeous, like, I don't wanna say peachy undertone, but it's beautiful. And I kind of like to think of these blushes as a blush and a highlighter had a baby. So I'm very cognizant and specific when I apply it. I don't blow it everywhere. I just want to kind of enhance the peaks of her cheeks. And I'm using this small detailer brush. I believe this is the highlighter brush, just to get really nice placement on this area. And then nose, a little chin. I think this was one of those products that when it launched, I was like, this is revolutionary. I've never felt such a lightweight, like thin sheer formula pack this much of a punch. Like, it is almost blinding whenever you swatch it, which is great because this will last forever. But also, like, you can get really good payoff, and I love that. I love using this with my fingers. I think it's super effective. This is what I did today when I got ready. I did it right on my eyes. You get really maximum potency, but to sheer it out, I do like using a brush. So I'm actually gonna use the same brush that I did the Luminous blush on. And this is the shade Mesmerize. This is my favorite. I'm such a pink highlighter girl right now. And this is where the fun starts. So we're gonna layer powder actually first, and then we're gonna add back on top the liquid luminizer, and it's gonna give the skin back that like gorgeous bounce. With highlight, start small, promise. You want to. So we're gonna hit right here, and you will immediately see this like gorgeous sun-kissed look. And this is that time too where I don't really want to put this all over the face. I want it to be very intentional of those areas that just look like you're glowing under lights right now. You know what I mean? So we're going to be pretty small with our application. So right here, I like doing a little too kind of on the chin, on the shoulder, right here on the collarbone, and you are shining. Please look when I swipe this, the pigment, like, it's crazy. So I'm gonna swipe it there and then kind of tap out and then work it honestly all over the lid, and especially right here at the brow bone, which is another high point of your face. So right here. And then I kind of use my finger just to blow it out. From here, I think we're gonna do a little bit of the Perfect Strokes mascara. I love this mascara. This wand is really unique because I feel like it works for all eye shapes. There's a lot of wands sometimes that don't allow you to really get in there, and I love that this is slender enough, but like it's gonna give you a voluminous lash, but it's slender enough that you can get precision and really detail out the lashes. If a client wants to do their own mascara, I let them. I feel like no one can get in your lash line the way you can, you know what I mean? So if you're a makeup artist out there and you feel nervous, like it's totally okay to ask clients to curl their own lashes or do mascara. Like sometimes they honestly prefer it. So I'm gonna go in with their gorgeous brow pencil. I love the shape of this. It has that like really nice precision, but then a slant, so you can fill in surface area if you want by shading it this way, or you can turn it around and get hair-like strokes Like, it's such a versatile pencil. And we decided to do a cool brown. I typically lean towards cool brows. I think that's a good rule of thumb unless you have, like, unless you're redheaded or really have a lot of warmth in your brows. Like, I think cooler brow products work better because it mimics shadow. Back to our contour lesson. It kind of looks like you have brow hairs that are creating shadows on your face. So it's a really natural way to fill in your brows. And I love that with this pencil, like, you can push down and get pigment, or you can be really light and just get the most natural brow of all time. Gorgeous. And then I think we want to finish her up with a nice lip. And we're almost done. That's the joy of makeup. Like, anytime I assist someone or just even watch like a YouTube, or shout out YouTube, like, I feel like I just love watching how people apply makeup. You always learn one different tweak. For lips, I would always encourage you to remove any sort of lip mask. You want a really dry base. You want it to be hydrated and moisturized, but you want it to be dry. Take whatever concealer you have and kind of just fill in the area between the face and the lip. It's the shade Wise. It is a gorgeous, like, mauve-y nude. Like, it has the cool tone element. It's just stunning. So we're going to go in and line Sophia's lips. I'm going to use a really light hand. And these just glide over the lips. And I like to keep in the lines when it comes from the outer corner. Sometimes I create the little triangle here if I really want that plump sort of effect, but I always stay within the lip line. And then when it gets to the center, I do like to kind of just go right on top of the Cupid's bow. And then we're going to finish it off with a tinted lip oil. I don't know which one I want to use yet. I kind of want to add a warmth back, so I might use the shade Delight. These are like a lip stain. Like, these will not move. These are incredible. If you are looking for something that's going to nourish your lips like a lip oil would, but also not move, you will love this product. Like, I was so shook at the longevity of these products, and they feel really good. They're really lightweight. And I actually like to take this also and line the lips with it, so you get that stain on the outer edge of the lips as well. Thank you so much. I am so excited about this new launch, and I know you guys are going to love this product as well. Thank you to the Rare Beauty team for having me, and I hope you learned something, whether you were virtual or in person today, and I hope that you just continue to let makeup be like a moment for yourself and feel confident, and it's the most fun thing we could ever do. So I'm so thankful to be here, and I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.